The history of humanity is written in tears and blood. Liars, tyrants, idealists, they all tried to bring happiness on the edge of a sword. We waited for liberation from the shackles of fate, and were ready to go through the last judgment for it. Not for the glorious death for the eternal kingdom, love, or the Lord, but for a way to step off the path of suffering. But when the apocalypse came, we shrugged our shoulders and started profiting from it as usual. The creatures lurking in the depths of space didn't seem scarier than our own world. Armed with the hope that the darkest hour comes before dawn, we try to survive until the first rays of the sun.
Hey guys, welcome to Quasimorph. I know that I'm not really a full playthrough kind of channel, but I've been playing this game a lot lately, and there's some research I need to do for a video I'm working on. So I kind of thought, hey, I should play the game a way I've never tried before. Or well, I have tried it, but I haven't played it too much. So I'm going to be playing Quasimorph with a fully random start. We have a random starting location. As you can see, we started on Mercury instead of Mars, which is actually pretty lucky, all things considered. We could have started on the asteroid belt or even further out. Things wouldn't have been very fun. We've also got random starting operatives, of which we only have 3. Normally you start with 4. Also 2 random starting classes instead of the usual Scouts of Hades and Eclipse Blades. And I've also, for good measure, increased the frequency of random events on floors to 150%. So this should be quite a bit of fun. And that's Dwarf Fortress fun, if you catch my meaning. And we've also got a random starting inventory, which means no crafting right off the bat. We may not even start with a gun. We'll have to check. Let's look at what we've got. We've got our quest item, of course, that never changes. Alright, so I was correct in predicting that we may not have a gun. That's definitely not an optimal start, depending on what our classes are, but we'll have to make do. Wow. For the record, in one of my previous games, this armor carried me pretty much through the mid-game to the end game, because I kept upgrading it. Wow. And we have... At least we got our sip. First aid kit's pretty nice to have. A little bit of... This is worthless. Wow, we got... Wow, I think it used pretty much all of our item budget on this. Whew, this is going to be tough. So we got Marika Wolfnod. Gets more loot from corpses and can carry more things in her vest slots. She's pretty decent at shooting, got a halfway decent dodge chance. Not bad. Francis, a classic. The OG clone, or operative. I like to call them operatives. Clone is a little rude, honestly. His increased weapon durability is incredible. Reduced weapon weight, also great, because weapons can be pretty damn heavy. He's just a general all-rounder. We'll see how far that carries us with no guns. And Nico Medic. Medic? Nico. Nico's good with pistols. This guy is pretty much built to be the Spaceborne Ghosts class. And he's incredible in it, let me tell you. Increased pistol accuracy and increased critical damage. Now, if you don't know, in this game, accuracy caps at 95%. Well, 95% chance to hit an enemy. Anything over that, like your natural accuracy pushing you over 95%, every 2% of extra accuracy you have gets turned into 1% of critical hit chance. So this is an incredibly good combo. This guy is going to be doing critical hits constantly, and he's going to be doing a ton of damage with them. Nico is a very good operative. I love him. Now, here's the moment that will make or break the run. Okay, actually not bad at all. So we got the Terror Pack and the Golem Group. Golem Group is going to be really hard to work with early on. This is a pet class, sort of a summoner as far as Quasimorph goes. They are all about having allies and empowering them. We'll go ahead and take a look at their perks. That video that I was talking about needing to do research on, by the way, it's a full coverage of all the classes and all the perks in the game. So I'm not going to get too deep here. So everybody, you always have your operatives perk. I keep wanting to call them pawns because of RimWorld. You have your operatives perk at the top. This one can't be leveled up. It never changes unless you manually change it in the genome project, but we'll get to that eventually. So the Golem Group strangely has Krav Maga as its damage perk. Increases the critical chance and damage of your bare hands. Now this isn't only your bare fists. This is any weapon that is attached to you. So if you say replace one of your arms with a machine gun, this also affects that. It affects it if you've got a blade arm. It affects it if you have one of the magic Quasimorph arms. Anything. So while I don't think this is any good on Golem Group, there is a very powerful build waiting somewhere out there, and this perk is at the center of it. We've got Central Command. This is another incredible perk, but really only on Golem Group. Allied AP is increased by 1, and I think this goes up to 4, if I'm not mistaken. NPCs work a little differently than players, as far as I can tell. It doesn't seem like they're capable of using all of their AP to attack all of the time. For example, if you watch a turret, even whenever it has, say, 5 AP, it will still only attack about twice per turn. And it's strange. I don't really know what causes that. But I've seen enemies do it too. I've seen robots that you have deployed in the field do it. So I'm not 100% sure how it works. Regardless, the ability for things like turrets to attack multiple times per turn is ridiculous. It's so good. Stationary defense is just more, it's just further buffs for turrets. There's not really anything much to say about it. Recharging is great for the durability of your allies. Anytime you reload, they get regeneration. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't fix any wounds they may have, but it will at least counteract the effects of them for a second. Direct Channel is sort of your only defensive perk. You definitely don't want to be on the front lines as the Golem Group, but this kind of protects you from being sniped. You know, if something gets through to you, if there's some kind of explosion, one of your buddies will take it. If you're in full armor and you're really just like a total tank, like you should be toward the end of the game, as long as you're not doing a stealth class. Golem Group is definitely not a stealth class, so you will want them in super heavy armor. I actually don't think this is super great. I'm not sure this is a positive, and it might be worth switching out for something else. But definitely whenever you're early on, like we are, this will kind of be life-saving. It'll probably completely destroy whatever ally it gets transferred to, but at least we won't be dead. And backward compatibility sort of works in sync with Direct Channel, in that anytime an ally dies, we'll regenerate health and we'll have increased resistances for a while. So, as you can see, the Golem Group, very much ally-focused. Once you can deploy robots, turrets, drones, that kind of thing, it gets much better. But there's also the caveat that your buffs don't just apply to robotic allies. Despite the name of the class and what a lot of these perks may imply, they also affect organic allies. That includes spiders, there are quasimorphic flowers that you can plant. This includes all allies on any map, not just ones directly under your control. So if there's a bunch of randos running around like idiots on your map, all of those people are going to have massively increased AP. And anytime you reload, every single one of them is going to regenerate health. Golem Group can be absolutely busted once you're, at that point where you can afford it. Of course, that's several classes, which I kind of like. Who we're going to be dealing with, since we absolutely cannot afford Golem Group, is Terror Pack. This is the goof-ass class. This guy is insane. Personally, I think this guy can be one of the most powerful classes in the game. Purely because he has 2 perks. Now, that's not to say that his other perks are bad, but these 2 perks are completely ridiculous. So, Possession is not something we'll be able to use for a while, but it decreases the amount of charge your pact requires and reduces the amount of Bane accumulated. Pacts are not something we are going to see for a while, believe me. But just know that this allows you to use pacts infinitely. The amount of power that this confers on you is insane. Not even barons can use their pacts multiple times per turn. We're far off from that point right now. The other extremely good perk is debatably one of the best perks in the game, is Insanity. And this is, you gain the buffs of the Quasimorphosis meter. For those of you who don't know anything about this game, the Quasimorphosis meter is basically a timer that you have to deal with as shit slowly breaks down on the mission. The more you kill, basically, misbehaving causes the Quasimorphosis meter to increase. And the higher up it gets, the bigger chance that people explode into demons whenever they die. And if it hits max, every person on the floor instantly dies, becomes a demon, and a super powerful demon called a Baron comes after you to most likely put a bullet in your head. Well, it's not going to be a literal bullet, but it will be something in your head that you're not going to like. Now, as this goes up, Quasimorphs will naturally get buffs from it. They'll get increased health, increased resistances, and deal increased damage. We will get a small fraction of that with Insanity. So what makes this so powerful is the fact that most places in the game, you are going to be rewarded just for playing the game. The buffs that this perk confers upon you are amazing. You're going to see huge health bonuses, you're going to be dealing more damage, you're going to be taking less damage, and that's just from walking around and playing the game. I personally think this is one of the best buffing perks in the entire game. I think that if you're playing the meta, which I personally don't like to do, but if you're playing the meta, honestly, there's no reason to not have this on, like, every single class. But that's enough ranting. We've also got Masochism, which anytime you go over your pain threshold, which is basically your poise meter, like your stun, if it gets too high, you'll start getting stunned and losing AP every turn. This counteracts that by giving you extra AP when you get stunned. You're essentially immune to pain stun as long as this isn't on cooldown. It's pretty good. Ritualism is a great cooldown perk. There's only a couple of these in the game, but I think this is probably the better one. It triggers off of any Quasimorph relic, and as we play the game, you'll see what I mean by that, but it's a very good thing. Fear and Hunger, very powerful perk. You gotta be careful with it, though. So this increases your melee damage the hungrier you are. Now, if you're walking around with an empty belly, this thing is going to give you an incredibly large increase in melee damage. We're talking like 90% melee damage increase. Of course, if you're walking around with an empty belly, that means you're not regenerating health. That also means you're probably losing health. There are some ways around this, but you have to be very careful. But this can also be an incredibly strong perk. And our last one is Axe Rage. Very simple. Anytime you hit somebody and inflict a wound on them with a melee attack, as long as you're using an axe, club, or knife, you will activate Axe Rage, and from that point on, for the next 3 or 4 turns, it may go all the way up to 6 once it's fully upgraded, you'll just hit them a bunch of extra times. I don't think that ever increases. I think it only ever stays 3. But it's good stuff. Nice, simple buff. So, who do we want to start with? The problem is that none of these people are really any good at melee. I guess Nico is halfway decent with melee.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
That actually might be a good thing. We're going to go ahead and throw Terror Pack on Nico, because now he can also have a pistol in his offhand while he's not beating people to death. So the fact that we're on Mercury means that we'll be dealing with Quasimorphs of the Shartmakum Brahmfutura. Shartmakum is clearly inspired by Middle Eastern culture, though in the world of Quasimorph, it's made clear that Middle Eastern culture is inspired by Shartmakum. What that means for us is a lot of cool weapons and hopefully not getting cut to ribbons, but we'll see. So we don't really have much of a choice for our first mission ever. Oh, this is going to be kind of tough, actually. I don't really like working for the Civil Resistance. They're basically in this world where companies rule everything. They're trying to reinstate the old ways, national government bodies, that kind of thing. And, as much as I hate corpos, I also hate feds. But none of that really matters right now because it's all about the rewards. So we need to look and see what our rewards will be. Now, if we work for the Civil Resistance, we're probably not going to get anything that's going to be permanently useful to us. That is, we're not going to get any chips. Chips are the lifeblood of Quasimorph. They unlock recipes, they unlock new classes, they unlock new mercenaries. Chips are extremely important, especially early on. And the Civil Resistance does not offer anything even resembling a chip. The only upgrade material they offer until Tech 6 is work clothes. Now, to be fair, work clothes are important. You don't need a lot of them, but they gate a lot of really important upgrades. Now, let's see. We've also got Coreward. Coreward is on the offense here, even though it says they're in defensive stance. They can offer us a basic item chip. This is good, but you have to remember that since we have a random start, we are incapable of crafting anything until we get our hands on a welding machine. So it's not going to be something that's immediately useful to us. Now, obviously, it's still better than getting nothing at all, but, we'll have to look and see what our options are. We should also look and see if any of these have a welding machine available to us. And none of them do, unfortunately, unless they could be here, too. What is this? This is a field camp. So I'm not really sure what we could run into on a field camp. The type of map you're on, the sort of facility you're visiting, is actually important for what kind of loot you'll find there. But I think even though the difficulty is allegedly higher on the Coreward version of this mission, I think that espionage is an easier mission than infiltration, all things considered. Infiltration means that we'll have to search each floor, killing a number of specific units as we go. Espionage just means going as high as the floors go, finding a single item, and leaving. I like those odds a lot better. So let's send out Nico. Hopefully we won't lose him, because we're playing with a setting that means once an operative dies, we'll have to find their mind chip again. It costs a chip to revive someone. So I would enjoy not losing Nico here. And I'm not going to bring anything with us. I think he's going to go in naked. Good luck, Nico. You're going to need it. Alright. Hopefully things aren't going to get too silly too quickly. Looks clear. Ooh. A new Merc. Very good. Operative, clone, whatever the fuck. Wow, we are getting lucky. That's not good at all. Oh, something you'll note. We only have 94 health. Insanity actually lowers your stats whenever you're insomnia. You get less damage and less health, which is just fantastic, let me tell you. Okay, we've got two guys here. Doesn't look like they're ready to come over just yet. Oh. God, our punch does so little damage.
Retard alert!
Yeah, welcome to Quasimorph, by the way. Now, I think because this is a makeshift grenade, it actually takes a little longer to explode. I'm going to take that risk. We're just going to get the fuck out of there. Our punch is so unimaginably weak, we have to find something a little easier to kill first. Maybe like this guy. Okay. Alright. Man, you can't run around without shoes on, you know? Come on. Get a stubbed toe.
No one will grant us deliverance.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly not going to. Oh my, that's not good at all. The best thing to do here might be to take a step down. Switch to run. Or no, we can't switch to run. We'll get fucked. Alright, let's just... Alright. Okay, we broke his knee, and if he moves, he dies. We'll take that opportunity. Switch to running. Step down here. Switch to sneak. We got those people coming from behind. He's too afraid to do anything because he knows that if he moves, he dies. Yeah, well, not too afraid, I suppose. Okay. Man, that person has 3 AP. Good lord. Really need you to not miss these high chances to hit. Good. Okay. Now, more importantly, we have a secondary method of attack. Ooh, buckshot. One that Nico is actually pretty well disposed to. Yeah, we just got to get to floor 3, so we got to find our way out of here. Oh. A lot of health on you, huh? Nice. That's her taken care of. Get some jeans on. Look real good in our denims. Oh! Oh. Bitch. Pistol is in better condition. Now, luckily, we do have a splint. So we can splint our wound, and that's a pretty high chance that we heal from that. Now, this is Quasimorph, so odds are we won't. And you never want to round a corner while you're in stealth mode. Never a good idea. A little bit of dookie on the ground, that's fine. That's good luck. I think this is... no, but it is good. Well, it was good. I thought it was. Wasn't. These are very good containers for finding upgrade materials. Didn't pay off this time, though. Alright, well, unfortunately, this is a dead end. Need to get through this as quickly as possible. We are at least no longer being debuffed by the Quasimorphosis meter, so that's great. There we go. Let's get out of here. Moving on up. Quasimorphs have come out either to have some fun or gather gavak. Squads of Tesklon subjects are scattered across the level, engrossed in the slaughter. Be careful, or they'll gather our Gavok too. Alright, well, that's interesting. Oh, boy. Well, things are getting interesting. Fortunately, Quasimorphs, especially Ganix, tend to carry some very powerful melee weapons. We can find something a little better than this dumbass pipe. Sure, our pistol is reloaded. Bullets we can't use. And here they are. Well, you don't have much anything, do you, bud? Oh my, that is a lot of them. Of course. Of course you missed. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you fucking miss like an idiot? I can't trust you to fucking do anything, you useless piece of shit. Oh my god. Well, we're fucked. Oh, and the door closed behind us. Of course it did! We're gonna have to take out that spider or we are dead. So we're dead. Okay, well, this is going spectacularly. Alright, we can actually use this. To have a couple wounds here. Of course, we broke all of their equipment. Why wouldn't we have? Yeah. God, we really got fucked. Another slave. At least he has a weapon. Another spider that we don't want to get hit by, that we will certainly be hit by. Back up. Of course you missed, you fucking worthless bitch. Can I ask you to fucking hit something for once in your miserable life, Nico? For Mr. Accuracy, you sure aren't very accurate. Okay, we got rid of that awful, awful weapon. Thank God. We're in trouble. That's going to give us more poisoning, which is going to hurt. But in the long run, it will help. Now, is that the sound of you waking up? Doesn't matter. Can't use that to repair, because of course you can't. Can use that to repair. Let's get some more rags if we need them. Might as well. Win in Rome. Alright, we're fully dressed up. Well, we don't have a hat, but we'll just have to deal with that shame. This might actually be a better pistol. Better crit damage, less scatter. It actually is pretty much the same. More consistent damage, but less durability, which is not something that we can really afford at the moment. I'd like a smoke, but I really don't need to become addicted to cigarettes right now. Oh, perfect. This is what I'm talking about. Although it does only have a single strike. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the... That's tempting. That's very tempting, but we really don't need to be bumping the Quasimorphosis up any more than it already is. Alright. Now we are still in kind of dire straits here. Oh, those pants are better than our pants. Switch into the better pants. Okay. Got a spider. Good work. Looks like we don't really have to worry about the spiders. We're accurate enough with our pistol as long as we're not injured that we don't have to worry about them too much. Ooh, survived, did you? Come on, then. That ought to do him. Yep. There he goes. More of the usual stuff. Let's see if we can get some organics rags just to be safe. Does this increase quasi... Oh, it does. Well, that's not helping. This pistol is in a little better condition. Before we reload that, let's check the other ones first. A hat. Some chicken. Some chicken. Better shirt. That's a better hat. Battery, we could maybe use that, but we really don't have the room for it. I'd love if one of these idiots had a backpack. There's our way up. Well, that was a fun little diversion, and I thought we were dead, but we actually made it out pretty well. Is this better than our pants? No. We have the superior pants. Okay. Our target is right over there. So we just need to find our way. Oh shit. Well, we don't need this. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Wait. Okay, we're good. Go. Fuck! You're shitting me. What are the odds of that? Well, pretty good, apparently. Go. Oh, man. That was brutal. Dude, fist runs suck. Whoa. We already got a stack of gold bars. And a branded nail gun. That will actually be really nice for Nico. So I think that's a pistol, isn't it? Yeah. So that'll be good. Naturally armor piercing. Hannah Reich. And who was the other one? It was Oberon, wasn't it? Yes. So these rags are actually going to disintegrate into regular rags. Employee ID. All right. Let's switch this out. Because I think Nico's probably going to be our guy for a bit. He's going to be our dude. We did get access to some new people. We have Hannah Reich, who has a very, very powerful ability. The ability to interact while running. Normally while running, you're not allowed to do anything but attack and use things out of your vest. So the ability to do everything while running is fantastic. And her other ability also plays into that kind of naturally. She is a better shooter than she is a hitter, so I don't think she's going to be taking over as our punch man. We also have Oberon, who has an extra weapon slot and takes less explosion damage. Now, that's not the damage type that is explosive, that is damage from explosions regardless of their damage type. Oh, one reason that we were struggling there, I didn't even think to look. Nico's melee damage is awful. His accuracy is okay, but his damage is absolutely terrible. Looks like the best damage we have is Oberon, but his accuracy is a little worse. Well, shoot, that's on me. No wonder his fists were doing so little damage. So we're unfortunately out of missions to do on Mercury, and we didn't get any upgrades, so we're going to have to look beyond. Mercury's satellites have a little bit going on. Oh man, another one. Another insane mission. This might actually work in our favor, though. Control missions are notoriously easy. So while I do really like Franche Comte, or Franc Comte, I think it's French. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I really don't care to. But we're going to head to Citadel 1. We're going to head to the Citadel Station. Actually, what does Citadel 1 look like? Does it look anything like Citadel Station? No, it doesn't. Oh, that's not even it. This is. And no, it doesn't really. Besides having a big ring. Yeah, this is some story stuff that can't be resolved right now, so I'm not even going to bother reading it. But we're going to check these out real quick. Nothing we can really do at the moment. So let's head in on another difficult mission with our boy Nico, and we're back into the breach. That's the wrong game. That's a stupid joke. Cut that out. Cut that shit out. We're taking Nico back in to get his ass kicked once more. So there's a couple things about control missions. For one, there's barely any loot on the actual map itself. For two, there are 8 million allied units here. Actually, I should have probably sent in a Golem Group. That would have made these allies stretch a lot further, but I think we'll live. This is not going to be difficult, he said, foreshadowingly. Sit in here. Oh, they already made it past our guards, so they must not be doing too bad. Oh man, that was a bad step to take. That was a terrible step to take, in fact. Oh, well, not too bad. We're alright. Never mind. These guys are pussies. Hey, bulletproof vest is good. Stun grenade. And a police baton. I'm not sure. It's probably not better than our demon stick. And he has a backpack. Not only does he have a backpack, he has a spare for us. He has a gay little beret, too. I think we'll leave that with you, buddy boy. Take some of this ammo back with us. Which of these is better? We'll take that with us. Take that. We need all the weapons we can get right now. Good, that ate all of those 9mm rounds. A robot with an upgrade material. Some gasoline. That was probably his lunch. Environmental storytelling. Let's get moving. Let's not be so cocky this time. You know, I've been cocky twice now, and it's gotten me killed both times. And by killed, I mean, you know, kind of injured. We were in the red. That second floor was pretty brutal. I think that's going to make for an interesting start, at least. Can you keep it down, please? I'm trying to do my really fun and cool narration that people love, okay? There's a reason I have 500 billion subscribers, alright? Alright. This one's way better because we actually have, like, some cover. Get rid of that. And we're in. Come on in, boys. Oh, we got a dog trying to get in. A dog. And something tells me this one doesn't come with mustard and relish. Am I right, boys? But really, I am going to have to kill this dog. I'm sorry. Alright. Something tells me that dog made it through... Oh. Ugh. Oh, you eat it? Ew. The hair. What? Excuse me. There was a dog. Did you guys decide that I just had it? Oh, he's got this. Oh, we had our first Shartmakum Quasimorph. I should mention that the Quasimorphs that appeared on the last mission are not the ones native to Mercury. They are Venusian Quasimorphs. The reason that they appeared is that they are actually a faction. Unlike most quasimorphic entities, which are just content to sit on their planet and murder anybody that comes near them. This is actually kind of useful. I'm going to take this. That'll be useful way later in the future. Well, it looks like you guys took care of things, I suppose. Anything in here worth looking at? Probably not, because these are always completely empty. I don't know why control missions are always completely devoid of loot. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it is pretty good income, isn't it? Oh, you guys just got a hold of space out here. That's cute. Oh. Oh. My. Now that's a weapon. 63 to 73. This is 26 to 40. But it also hits twice. It is unfortunately less accurate, which is not really something we can afford. But I would rather have it than the sawed-off shotgun. Which may be as stupid, but I am often given to whimsy. Especially when it involves sharp blades that I can use to dismember people. Good news, they're trying to rearm the peaceful contingent on this level, and so they've brought in a ton of ammo. Keep an eye out. Cool. 12-gauge slugs. Suck. Suck dick. No. Give me something crazy. Give me some, like, cryo rounds or something. Hey. Should probably look and see, like, where the objective is instead of wandering around like an... Oh, my God. Sure. Oh, hey. Just gonna check your crate, if you don't mind. Flechette rounds, man! Is this all the shotgun shells? You know what? Why not? We got no shotgun shells anyway, so might as well get the cool ones. Alright. Now, they have to get through a room full of dudes, so if they get through that, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Come on. You know what? Switch to the blade. Never mind, they already wiped them all out. I told you this would be easy. Certainly not interesting, but at least we got it done without too much blood loss. Whoa. Whoa! It's not funny? Serious? Okay. It's not a joke. Stop laughing. There were a couple moments that was a little dicey, but we did pretty good. Nice. Dilthy gives us another pistol. Some batteries. This is a pistol that doesn't use any ammo, actually, although it does absolutely poopy doo-doo damage. And they also give us a sex bot, which is pretty awesome. Do we get any upgrades? Unfortunately, no. Alright, I would like to do another mission, but I'm actually going to have to end it here. It's starting to rain, and my shitty little studio amplifies the sound of rain by 1,000 times. You can probably already hear it. So, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I want to turn this into a series and see if I can make it all the way through this game. Now, based on how we started off, I wouldn't be surprised if we get wiped. But I can certainly try to get us the rest of the way through. So, if you guys liked it, let me know. And I can make more of these episodes. I'd love to. I've been enjoying Quasimorph a lot recently. Like I said, I've been working on a larger video that I need to do some research on because this game is not very well documented, unfortunately. And I might as well record while I'm doing it. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This has been Torvis, and I'll see you next time on the HIS Magnum. God bless.